for providing and hosting our Zoom meeting. A lot of us last year didn't even know what a Zoom was, and now we're grateful that you're doing it. Thank you. Can we look over the agenda, Sean, and can you put it up on the screen?
Absolutely.
And kind of let people take a look at it, and and if someone could make a motion to approve when you're ready.
You mean the minutes?
No, the agenda.
Oh, we're approving the agenda?
Yeah, so like if anybody wants to add anything.
Oh, I see.
Or it's just a formality.
Oh, okay.
It was accidentally labeled as the minutes, but it's really the agenda.
Oh, got
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
it. Okay.
okay. Cut and paste.
I move to approve the agenda,
Okay.
I second.
except Joe's last name is spelled wrong.
It's okay. It's
How
not.
does-
Mm,
It's, how do you spell it?
There's no K. TIC.
I'm sorry, Joe.
It's not a big deal. It's autocorrect. There's no, yeah, it's no big deal.
That's what I was gonna, that must have been it, because I can't imagine that I would have written that. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for noticing, Kim. Okay.
You
All
can.
right.
It's actually the February meeting, not the January meeting. So just being persnickety now.
No, you want to be, that is just weird. Okay. Okay, and today is the 8th, right?
It is.
So that part's right. Okay, good thing I have people who are detail oriented, because it's clear I'm not.
Just a quick read. Wow, that's good.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty lucky. Okay, so how about the minutes? If you have your newsletters about, if you could take a look at the minutes and approve them, or tell what needs to be changed. Hi, Sidel.
Oh, that's a pretty cat, Susan.
Thank you.
What's your kitty's name?
This is Seamus.
Wow.
Does Seamus want to make a motion to approve the minutes? Have him raise his little paw.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Second that motion.
Approve, and I approve.
Only animals can second the emotion.
Okay,
Second the
Coco,
motion.
Coco seconds.
Okay, can everybody aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Is there anybody that's new tonight? Anybody that's new?
I think it's just me and Lisa.
Okay, that works. So let's talk about some general announcements. Joe Tick, who is actually responsible for the topic and for tonight's meeting, has also gotten us a fundraiser. Would you like to discuss it, Joe?
Absolutely. So if you guys are not familiar with Chicken and Pickle, it's a really great space here in San Antonio that is dog friendly, and it is also very kid friendly. They have outdoor space, indoor space, and you can also play pickleball. If you've never played, it's very easy. It's basically a crossover between tennis and ping pong, but you don't have to play to be able to go and enjoy their amazing food and drinks. And on March the 2nd, they do a Green Cup campaign. A 10% give back. And our organization is going to be the recipient of 10% of any of their food and alcohol tabs. Usually it's about $250 to $300. But if you've never been to Chicken and Pickle, this would be a great time for you to go, because 10% of your tab will be donated to our neighborhood association. So highly recommend it. If you have any questions, please text me. My number is on here. Joe Tick, please text me if you have any questions about pickleball. Riley, I'm sorry. The pains of Zoom. That's my dog. I'm so sorry. But yeah, if you have any questions and you want to go, Riley, come on. Oh my God.
Where is it? Where is the restaurant?
It is on I-10. It's about a 10-minute drive from anywhere in our neighborhood. It's on UTSA Boulevard. It is so much fun. If you've never been, they do live music on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. They have amazing brunch. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wow.
And yeah, it's really fun.
So is there a certain time that like after
Okay.
5 or after?
All day.
All day, March
10%
2nd?
all day. So do you carry out if you don't feel comfortable going?
Okay.
You're more than welcome to go. Obviously, bring your dogs, bring your kids. You can play pickleball if you want to, but I highly recommend that if you're looking for a new place to try on March 2nd, you give Chicken and Pickle a try. They have amazing food. They have barbecue. They have breakfast. They have lunch. They have it all.
Wow. So that's a
Saturday?
really generous offer. I hope, I mean, for some people that's kind of a ways, it's near the Costco, I guess, but that's a really, I hope all of us we're going to try to advertise it in the neighborhood. Do we have like some kind of flyer, something we can put on
make one.
Facebook?
Yeah, I'll work with Kim and we'll create a Facebook group
Okay.
for the event. But honestly, I've done it twice without even advertising, and we raised $280. And the one that we did advertise was $250. And again, it's just a donation to our organization, and it's a great way to try a new restaurant, but also to support our neighborhood. So
And it's especially important because we don't charge dues like a lot of or most other neighborhood associations. So, this would be a nice way for us to pick up a little extra money, especially right now. Thank you. Thank you, Joe, for arranging that.
no problem.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but anybody text me with questions, concerns, comments, anything else you want to know. I don't want to take up any more time, but March 2nd, all day, 10% will be donated to our organization.
Thank you. Thank you
Great.
very much. So an announcement, Jerry Lockey is our new BHANA representative to the Westside Creek Restoration and Oversight Committee. He has a huge amount of experience working on the linear park and creating the community garden. So we're hoping some of that expertise can be put on the creekways. We also want to recognize the historic designation process for 1109 West Craig Place by its owners, Emily Tarango Chavez and Juan Chavez. So
Yay.
I'm sorry,
I
are
said,
they
yay.
here? Oh, they're here.
They're
Thank
my across the street neighbors.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Thank
Hi.
you so much for doing this. Every time a house is designated historic, it's a house saved. And you know that houses are being threatened right now. People want to tear them down and put up something else. So thank you for doing that. And you've inspired me. We're going to follow in your footsteps.
Oh, that's
Great.
great.
So thank you for doing that. And we wrote a letter to HDRC, with neighborhood support already. Okay.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. So Lisa Norwood and Amy De Contreras from Animal Care Services is here to present to us tonight. And they're at the right place because everybody's animals are here in attendance.
Yes. And
Okay, can you guys hear us?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, nice to see everybody. Lisa's actually in the office with me right now, so we have to wear a mask because we're together. But I'll go ahead and start the presentation if everyone is ready.
sure.
Let me see if I can share this. Okay, I'm going to share screen. I think this is going to work. All right, can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to open it up a little bit. Let's see what I got.
Go to slideshow.
Slideshow. Got
There
it.
you go.
Better? Yay. Okay. Basically, we're just going to run through this really quick. It's about 13 slides long, so I'll just go through it really quickly. If you guys, anyone has any questions or anything, feel free to let me know. So we'll go ahead and start. Okay. So what does ACS do? We have here at our facility off of 151, we have 5 divisions of that do different things. And so I'm the field operations manager. And so we have a live release, a shelter, education, and a clinic folks too that have their own managers. And so we're just going to go through a little bit about ACS just so everybody's on the same page. Field enforcement, that's my my officers and my group of folks. We handled injured calls, vicious or loose animals. We have, we get permit issues like the excess number of animals. We also do roadside sales, and we do tactical rescues. We did one today. We have an officer that went out into a lake to get a duck with a hook in its leg. We also have investigators. Now the investigators, they handle bite cases and make sure that the animals get put into quarantine for rabies, so that we can make sure that they don't have rabies exposure. We do dangerous and aggressive calls for service as well. We also take care of cruelty cases. That's like hoarding too many animals. We do torture, blood sports, etc., from misdemeanors all the way up to felonies. Our field enforcement folks are, that are here at Animal Care Services, we're open 24/7. We have different shifts, and just so that everybody is aware, we have a shift that starts at 7 a.m. and that goes till 5:30. We have the night shift that starts at 1:30 and goes to midnight. We also have from midnight to 7 a.m. we have an on-call officer. It's only one officer, excuse me, but it is, those officers only go out for SAPD standing by, just for their safety as well. Whoops. We have 42 officers currently, 14 first responders. We do have district-specific officers, meaning they only stay in whatever council district that they're in. They don't go all over the city like the other officers do. We have some sweep officers. Hopefully everybody got to see some of them. We've been doing some sweeps in the area pretty much every day. We have a trap officer, dangerous and aggressive investigators. We have 2 of those. Cruelty investigators, I have 4 of those. Permit inspectors, I have 2 of those. I have 4 bite inspectors, and myself and 4 supervisors. So we try to make it work with what we have. Shelter staff.
Can you explain what a sweep is?
Yeah, definitely. So let me go back to that. So basically, excuse me, a sweep is, I have 2 officers that are pretty proficient in roping, meaning they use the rope to capture animals, because the animals, oh, they see us and they run. And so they're pretty good with their ropes. They mainly only go out as sweeps together, so that they, you know, when there's packs and stuff going on, they're usually the guys we try to send out because they're pretty awesome with ropes. So yeah, it's just 2 officers, and we just work all the little hot spots that we think packs are popping up here and there. We'll send them out there, and they'll try to take anything that's loose.
That's it.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So shelter staff, obviously with the animals that we're bringing in, and typically we bring in about 31,000 animals every single year. Now, all of those animals obviously need to be fed, rather, they need to be cleaned, walked, cared for, and not just dogs and cats. We're also bringing in, on the occasion, we're bringing in exotics, we're bringing in livestock. We've got a horse out there right now. So it's not just dogs and cats that we're bringing in. And it's not just dogs and cats that we're finding are roaming in San Antonio. So next slide. Okay. Our shelter is open right now because of COVID by appointment only. So that means that walk-ins are only seen on a space available basis. We're open from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, we're open as well from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And there's always staff here caring for the animals from very, very early in the morning until very, very late at night. So the clinic division, of course, all of those 31,000 animals that come in, many of them have veterinary issues that need to be attended to. And not just, you know, vaccinations. We perform about 17,000, 18,000 spay-neuter surgeries every single year here at our clinic. And then, of course, we have partner clinics as well that also do spay-neuter that's subsidized by the citizens of San Antonio, like yourselves. We see tens of thousands of animals every single year in our veterinary clinic. Many of them, unfortunately, through neglect or not having an owner, have illness, or maybe they have injury. And we also treat a lot of animals who are being evaluated in connection to animal cruelty cases. Okay, so this is an important one. The Animal Care Services Veterinary Clinic is for shelter animals only. We get this question quite a bit because people will assume that, hey, this is the city of San Antonio's animal shelter and there's a veterinary clinic attached to it. I should be able to take my owned animals there. No, owned animals actually need to be seen by a personal veterinarian. The clinic is set up and funded specifically for the animals that we bring into the shelter. Now, we will provide medical care for our fosters. These are our temporary pet parents who help us take care of some of the animals that come into the shelter that are maybe in need. We also have a community cat program, and we provide spay-neuter free of charge for participants in our community cat program. And if you want to find out a little bit more about either one of those programs, you can check out our website that's listed there, saacs.net.
Excuse me, Amy again. So our live release division performs about 6,000 plus adoptions every year. We do work with rescue and foster teams throughout the state of Texas and even out of state. We have a volunteer coordinator, and they are the oversight over all the volunteers that come into animal care services for whatever reason, that is. It could be to help out in clinic, it could be to help out in the cat rooms, or help out, with walking dogs.
And we actually have a lot of remote volunteer projects right now as well. So anybody thinking about volunteering to give back to the shelter and thinking, well, because of COVID, I'm not really going to be able to help. We actually have a lot of remote projects that you can get engaged in as well, helping us make blankets for the animals, doing donation drives, collecting supplies. So lots of different ways that you can give back, even though we're still in the midst of our pandemic.
Yep. And we also have the community cat program, like Lisa was explaining to everyone, and they do the free spay neuters. And we have our pet trainers that are here located in Animal Care Services. So any animal that gets adopted from ACS qualifies to see our trainers if the animal needs help with whatever kind of situation is happening with them. They can schedule appointments with the pet trainers and work all that out. So our live release policies, we get this one a lot, so I'm going to say it. I'm going to let you guys know on this one. You have to be a COSA resident to drop off animals at Animal Care Services, because I know a lot of times we'll get individuals from Bexar County or neighboring little cities and stuff that want to come and bring their animals, or owner surrender their animals at ACS. But we can only see City of San Antonio residents. So that's a big one. And like Lisa said earlier, it's all done by appointment only, because COVID now. So there's no just walking in. You actually do have to make an appointment here. The adoption processing stops at 6:30 p.m. And so, yeah, we do try to stay open a little bit late so that we can give, residents a chance to get off work and still come to ACS if they have an appointment, that they could, if they couldn't get off work or something. We do not intake moms with kittens that are under 2 pounds. And I know this is going to sound a little bit different, but we were working with the, oh goodness, what was the name of the company in Utah? Best Friends. And one of the things that we've learned here and we started implementing, and it does work, is cats will mainly care for their kittens. And so we were getting lots of people bringing in, cats or kittens with the mom cat. And the bad thing about that is, first off, then we have to see if we can have a rescue or a foster, please come pick up this cat with, and she'll nurse her babies. And a lot of times we would get just kittens on their own. And then when we would ask, hey, where's the mom cat? And they're like, oh, she lives over there. I'm like, hey, she needs these kittens, she has the milk and all of that for them. So, so if they are under 2 pounds and they're healthy and they're with the mom, we usually will not pick them up, just FYI. Now, if once they get a little bit older than the 2 pounds, then they're eligible for spay, neuter, and people can come and make an appointment to either drop them off or owner surrender if those are their pets. Okay, so let's see, kittens under 2 pounds, only if they're severely injured or sick. Of course, we take all animals that are severely injured and sick. So just an FYI on that one. And our medication is only for the shelter animals, not for owned animals. Like Lisa was saying earlier, we do have this nice clinic here, but the clinic is for animals that we impound to Animal Care Services. And again, if an animal is owned by someone, the responsible thing to do is to have a vet for that animal. And we do sometimes come across individuals who have lots of animals and no vet, and then their animals get really bad, and then next thing you know, it turns into a cruelty case. And so we definitely don't want that happening. But
Amy, I think you accidentally muted yourself.
That was my fault, actually. I apologize.
oh no! Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Where
Next
did
slide.
I last
Go
go?
for the next slide.
Oh, next slide. Okay. Let's see. Oh no, please come on, work.
There we go. So remember I talked about it's not just dogs and cats. These are some examples of some of the animals that we have brought in to Animal Care Services. Yes, that is a baby alligator. We bring in animals like this all the time. That llama now lives at the San Antonio Zoo. He's one of their animal ambassadors. But like I said, not just dogs and cats. So lots of different animals that we come across in neighborhoods just like Beacon Hill. So certainly if you see an animal that's in distress and it's not your standard dog or cat, please give us a call so that we can get the help that that animal needs.
Yep. That's
Okay, so education and outreach. I am the manager for the Education and Outreach Division. We will host microchip clinics here at Animal Care Services. In fact, we've started up microchipping again here at ACS. It is by appointment only, but we are doing free microchipping for the public, again, for citizens of San Antonio, for our taxpayers. We are also the ones who do all of the social media and traditional media, TV, radio, newspaper, all of those things for the shelter. We're the ones who do that as education. So if you're interested in, or you're active on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, even YouTube, we have a lot of really good educational content, a lot of content that you're more than welcome to pull if you want to put something in your newsletter. And I would also suggest, for those of you who are interested, checking out our Pet Parents of San Antonio, our Pet Parents of SATX Facebook group. It's a group for pretty much anybody who's an animal lover in San Antonio. They share a lot of tips with each other. Sometimes our trainers will go on and give tips as well. Everybody likes to share their different experiences with their pet. And it's a really cool, welcoming group where you can learn a lot, not only about your pets, but about pet-friendly places here in San Antonio as well. In addition to that content, we've also got a lot of educational videos, including basic training for your dog. Videos are on our San Antonio ACS YouTube channel, and anybody can download those, check them out. Lots of good training tips, lots of good training videos that we've put together with our professional dog trainers here at ACS. And again, I would encourage you to follow San Antonio ACS on our Facebook or Instagram and on our Twitter as well. Okay, and so that's it. And so now we're ready for all the questions.
I'm going to stop sharing really quickly.
There you go.
Hopefully I'm back on.
There you go.
If you hit the chat, there are a couple questions that haven't been answered yet. I can pull it up. Let's see.
Do you offer any discontinued free spay and neuter at any or your partner clinics of San Antonio residents?
We absolutely offer discounted spay and neuter. In fact, for the citizens of San Antonio, it's either low cost or free.
Our zip
So,
code, yeah, our
per zip code,
qualifies,
correct. Yeah, per zip code. Now, even if the zip code that you live in is not, excuse me, one of the, for lack of a better phrase, target zip codes, citizens of San Antonio always qualify for low cost. And the low cost at the partner clinics that we have is significantly less than going to a private veterinarian. Of course, we have a lot of really awesome private veterinarians in San Antonio, but we get it. It can be expensive. And so we do discounted spay neuter, and we do discounted vaccinations as well at those partner clinics.
All right.
And all of that information is on our website, again, SAFFE.net.
Okay. And Ms. David said, yes, I would like to do this for my school honor society chapter. Who can I email to set up volunteer work?
So you can check out our volunteer page on the ACS website, the SAFFE.net. It's one of the drop downs. Camille Shelton is our volunteer coordinator, and she can be reached at Camille, CAMILLE, period, Shelton, SHELTON, at sanantonio.gov.
All right. Our zip code qualifies for free spay neuter at our partner clinics. It can be a challenge getting appointments. The
That's
program
true.
is called the zip code grant. Yes, that is absolutely true. Because it is very low cost and in some instances even free, a lot of different folks are taking advantage of it. So trying to get an appointment is kind of tricky. We do have other partners. It's the one. Let me ask Lisa really quick.
Yeah, sure.
Because I know there's more than one
Yeah,
partner.
so we've got a number of partners that offer the free and low cost spay neuter. So you have Pet Shots. San Antonio Humane Society runs our Brooks city-based clinic. There's also the Animal Defense League. And what you need to do is, if at first you don't get in, try again. We're in the middle of our operating year, our fiscal year. And so there's still plenty of money for free spay neuter. There's still plenty of money to get your cats in to get sterilized through our community cat program. So again, you might not get an appointment next week, but you definitely can get an appointment. Plenty of money there right now.
Yeah. It is a lot of folks do take advantage, and we're really thankful for that, because at that point we will set the animal up with everything that the city ordinance is requiring. How often do they have free shots or discount shot programs?
Okay, so the each of these clinics, while they are our partners, they're subsidized by the city, and so they will do low-cost vaccinations. Every now and then, those clinics will also do free vaccinations, or rather, the rabies shots will be free. However, they are their own clinics, and so they are private clinics, and so they set their own prices for their vaccination packages, et cetera, and so on. So best bet, if you're interested in a specific clinic, give them a call or check them out on their website, and they can give you all the information that you want on their rates.
All right. Preston, I will get you what you need. I'll call you privately, and let me see. Kim did. She threw up the Pet Parents of San Antonio link.
Excellent. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. And then let's see. Do we have training for cats? I want my cat to have training.
Okay, so that's actually a really good question. And as a dog and cat lover, I've asked the same thing. You know, we want equal time for cats.
Yes, we
And
do.
luckily, while we don't have in-person training or a really lengthy training program for cats, one of our dog trainers actually also is very much engaged in cat behavior and cat training. So if you have any questions about possibly training your cat, assuming that your cat wants to be trained,
Yeah.
we can get you that information as well. Amy can send you the direct email for the trainers here at ACS.
I will definitely do that for Anna. I'll do that for you. I have 4 cats. I want them trained as well. I think they've successfully trained me though, however.
That's
Yeah.
generally the way it goes.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see. Can I speak a little bit about the loose dog situation common in Beacon Hill? Yes, I definitely can. Let's see. So it wasn't too long ago. I got in contact with a resident there, doctor, I forget her. I know she's a doctor. I'm terrible. But she did explain that there's, she was starting to see packs in the area. And, I let her know any kind of help that the community can give us is always grateful. They're out there and that, they see them. So just by taking a picture really quick and sending it, at least at that point, I can have the officers know what to look for. And I know this is what was happening. So everybody was reporting things, but they were actually reporting on Nextdoor. And I do have a Nextdoor myself, but it's for my community, so I don't get to see your Nextdoor. So she was like delivering me all the, seen on this street kind of things. But yeah, if anyone, all I can say that would be so helpful is if the community wouldn't mind doing is if a pack or if loose dogs are seen, please call it in to 311. I know that a lot of individuals like to also call through to the council aides, and they all know me, and I talk to all 10 district council aides pretty much every day. And so the fastest way though is actually putting a call into 311, because at that point I don't if I'm in a meeting and I'm not sitting by my phone and I didn't, the council aide sent me a text message, I didn't get it until 3 hours later because I was on a meeting, and it was 3 hours short of sending an officer into the field. And so 311, once the report is made, that goes directly to their computers in their trucks. And so that's why I'm saying it's always helpful for me to know too. And if the residents there want to let me know, hey, this is what's going on this street and this street and this street, that's wonderful. And I'll take that information. But it's really fast. It's a lot faster to put the call into 311 and say, hey, this is what's going on, so that I can, even if I can't get to it right away and I say, hey, I see a 311, number, I can forward that number alone to the officers, and they can load it up onto their computer so that they can actually see the report.
And in support of what Officer DeContreras is saying, I know that, Beacon Hill being right next to Alta Vista, and then, on the other side of the highway, you've got Woodlawn and Monticello Park, Jefferson, et cetera, and so on. Dogs don't necessarily stay in one place, right? So the dogs that might be coming into Beacon Hill could be coming over from the highway from, Jefferson area or from Woodlawn, and vice versa. And so anytime that we see issues going on in a neighborhood, we try to look outside that neighborhood as well to see if we're seeing similar problems. And I will tell you that I live in the area. No, I'm not going to give you my address, but I do live in the area. And so I'm aware of what you guys are seeing, because I'm seeing it myself. And so just to support what Officer DeContreras was saying, it's really important that when you do see those issues, those potential violations for us to address, please call 311. It's great if you want to follow that up with calling council
Or me.
or Amy,
Yeah.
you know, sending her an email. But for the fastest service, if you will, making sure that you're getting that information into 311 with as many details as possible is what's really going to help our officers be able to address the issues for you.
Yes.
So
Kim
on
said
that
yes.
note,
Mhm.
can people, Susan?
I had a quick question about the microchip.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that the chip itself can be, will be free, but do we have to pay for the annual registration fee?
That is a great question. That is a beautiful cat, by the way. God, that's a good looking man right there. Okay, so I'm just admiring your cat. All right, so question about the microchip. So for City of San Antonio residents, like I said, it's free. And with that free, no charge to our City of San Antonio residents, we also provide a lifetime registration and we register it for you. So if, as an example, that handsome man right there is not microchipped, I bet he is, but if he's not, you could bring him to Animal Care Services. We will microchip him for you and then register it for you. All that we ask of you is that, number one, if you ever move or you ever change your phone number, oh, there he goes. If you ever make any changes to your contact information, you just need to keep that up. Because that's a lost pet's ticket home. That is the way that we get your pet home to you. And so you can come in, you can make an appointment. We're doing appointments during the week right now. We're hoping to open that up as we get through the pandemic. But right now there are appointments available and it usually takes about 15 minutes. Most of that is paperwork.
That's absolutely true. The shot itself is like a second. Just a
Oh,
second.
I know, I had another cat. I'm not sure that Seamus is. I had another cat microchipped and yeah, it was easy, but at that time, somehow, it's a number of years ago, somehow I ended up having to do the registration and all that stuff. So
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Well, the city of San Antonio takes care of that for you.
Yeah, that you're absolutely right, Miss Susan. It switched over probably around 5 years ago.
Yeah, about 5 years
About
ago.
5 years ago, it switched where we actually do that as part of the deal.
And you know, since the microchipping for our pets, our dogs and cats and our ferrets, is the law here in San Antonio, just getting that lifetime registration for your pet with a free microchip, easy enough, and then your pet's registered for life.
awesome, thank you.
I have a
Oh,
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
Well, Rose, we're starting to run out of time. Can you email them the question or is it one you absolutely should ask tonight?
I'd rather ask tonight if possible.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
impatient to, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm wondering how many schools you go to. Do you hit every school? Because it's not just stray dogs. There are a lot of owners who just let their dogs out constantly. I mean, I know there's some escapes, but a lot of owners just let their dogs out constantly. And the only answer I can think of for that is to educate the kids and to go and make sure that the owners are made responsible for what they're doing.
Well, that's a really good point. And as you can imagine, COVID has kind of done a number on our education program. In the past, we would go to schools throughout most of our target areas where we saw the largest numbers of cases coming in, the largest number of bite reports coming in. So typically in an average year, in a normal year, we'll talk to thousands of school children.
Students, yeah.
This year has obviously been a lot different. And so what we've tried to do is to provide the capability for us to do online classes, Zoom meetings just like this, where we can provide the presentations we used to do in person to the schools. And so we still do those as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And you have your email in the chat so that people can follow up on questions or any other things they might feel like they need to ask later. But thank
Yeah,
you
no
very
problem.
much for joining us tonight. You can tell animal care is a big issue in our neighborhood. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We noticed that you guys do something that we've never seen another neighborhood association do, and that is actually have a line item in your budget for animal care.
Oh, I thought you were going to say wear skunk outfits. I was like,
No, I mean, maybe you guys do that too. That's actually kind of cool. But no, having a line item for animal care, because you understand that it is a quality of life issue. So bravo to you guys for doing that.
Well, thank you, Kim, and all the rest of you that care so much for the animals in our community. Thank you. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you guys.
I
Thank you.
appreciate your time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Good night.
Is SAFFE Officer Albert Sanchez in tonight? Officer Sanchez?
He
He's
emailed
on the
earlier.
participants list.
Yeah,
He
okay,
emailed
great.
earlier,
I'm
so
here. Can you hear me?
I thought he might make it.
There he is.
Oh,
He's
yay,
speaking.
yay, yay. Officer Sanchez, do you have good news to give us?
I don't know about good news. I know it's just kind of a more updates on the properties. We'll start with 1042 West Summit. Can you still hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me raise my volume then. So I do know I had emailed y'all regarding the change in the code officer. I don't know if there's any code officers here tonight. But I went by the location when I got, first of all, I was out all of January. I had a baby. My wife had a baby, so I haven't been at work. I just cut up this past Monday or so, catching up with emails and phone calls and everything. So I'm trying to return everybody's email and phone call from the neighborhood.
Congratulations.
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 Thank you. I went by last week, 1042. It kind of looked the same as it did in December when I last saw it. I did call the number, I believe there was a phone number that I was given for the property. I left a message for the owners, but I did not hear anything back from them as of today. So I haven't heard anything from them. I did go across the street to, I believe it's, what's that house at the corner that JJ stays at? In the back. So I went over there and I just to kind
Is
of
that on Linwood?
Yeah, no, it's still on Summit. It's that corner house right across from 1042.
Oh, right.
I went over there and kind of talked to them. I had didn't receive a criminal trespass affidavit from anybody for that property. As of, I guess last week, we didn't have one on file for anybody there. I know I had been in contact with the owner and she was supposed to send it back to me, but I haven't received anything. So I did talk to the homeless that were staying there as best as I could, as far as trying to get them to leave the location. And that's kind of where we're at on that one. 1042, like I said, I emailed code, just kind of waiting to see what they're going to do or where is it at as far as with the city on any type of improvement. The reports I did receive, there was no actual police report written. It was all incident numbers, which are encoded, which is basically a short way of just typing some notes on the computer and leaving the call. It being a vacant building, there really is no burglary that takes place. I know on my emails, a couple of burglaries had taken place or people had called in burglaries, but with no complainant, with no items being taken, it's just kind of squatters hanging out there and leaving during the day. So there was no physical report taken. Everything's been in encode since September, I believe.
That 1102 or 1042?
1042, I'm sorry. 1040,
Because I live next door to 1042 and there is vandalism and I call it in all the time.
no, I'm not saying there isn't. I'm
Oh.
saying with no complainant, with nobody that
Oh.
can say, yes, I'd like to charge these people. Yes, let's
I
make
see.
contact with them. Yes. And we don't really, when homeless enter vacant buildings, yes, it is a burglary, but it's more of they're looking for a shelter. So there is criminal trespass, and that's something we can do. But like we said, we have to get a contact with the owner, which I haven't been able to do. I don't know if any any code officer, anybody with the city has been able to get a hold of.
I think Cosima had a phone number for someone, but I don't know if they ever contacted her.
Well, recently I did receive the number, I guess from a constituent, and she forwarded to Cosima. And then I called them, like I said, the other week, and I didn't hear anything back from them as of today, as far as, you know, what they're going to do or sign any paperwork for me. That's the big thing we need, is a criminal trespass affidavit so that we can take action on anybody that's on the property that shouldn't be on the property.
And you said for that you need owner consent.
Yes, I need somebody to say that they are either property manager, the owner of the property. I need them to fill out a criminal trespass affidavit, which is basically giving police the authority to act on their behalf. And hey, you know, this person is in the house, they shouldn't be here. Let me give you a warning. If you're back a second time, you can be arrested for a Class B misdemeanor, criminal trespass. And that's kind of how we deal with, we'll say, squatters in vacant houses nowadays.
So at this point, there's nothing SAPD can do, and you guys have tried to reach the owners, and you're not having any success there. So
Yes, I've documented, you know, when I've tried to contact them, and we have to make up a case and everything just to make it kind of official. And we haven't been, you know, lucky enough. That's why I was wondering. I know code has a little bit more access to getting phone numbers as far as getting on, looking for documents. I just kind of go off of what everybody else does. Look up BCAD, any numbers that the neighbors provide for me, people that they've talked to, workers on the property. That's kind of how we get numbers and contacts for people.
So I know this is difficult. This is Cosima. I'm going to leave my video off because my internet service works better with less activity. Cynthia Walker, the neighbor, apparently called Mark, right? That number that you have for that real estate guy, Cynthia, when someone broke in, and he did.
Oh, I'm going to continue for her. He did replace the barriers that were on the windows that somebody had taken down or pulled down because they were trying to get in the house.
Okay, so apparently if you call and say that the house is on fire, that guy might respond. But if you're calling to, you know, to be a city person,
if you call to say you're a city person, they could care less. I'm assuming that's where she's going with that.
well, the house on fire
for them.
thing, some neighbor didn't call it in, I don't know why, but reported seeing a pretty large fire they had in the backyard, JJ or somebody. So I mean, it could happen. So
And we've had structures burned down that way.
yeah, I mean, this has been Cynthia's concern since she's a neighbor. So unfortunately, we haven't had too much cold weather up until now, but this week, and then people start little campfires inside these places. And, we know that's an issue. Sidel, did you ask the question because you have an idea as to how the owner might get contacted?
Yeah, I just want to make sure we can follow up if we need to get with the code supervisor who might have better access to contact people. I mean, that's something I'd want to follow up with for sure, especially if there's fires that have happened and whatnot. If what we're waiting on is an owner's consent, our office can definitely do whatever we can to get in touch with them and get the process moving.
Yes, so I should have included you on the email earlier, but I did send an email to the code, both supervisors, and who I now believe is the code officer for the area. I'll forward that to you after the meeting, just to kind of so you see what we sent them.
Okay, thank you.
So other than Summit, how else are we doing in terms of crime in Beacon Hill?
The numbers seem to, when I looked at the numbers before, I guess leaving work and preparing for the meeting, the numbers look the same. There is a few more disturbances, which we've kind of seen across Central as far as, we'll just say arguments, fights, mostly in duplexes between neighbors. And that's, I think, after talking with some other safe officers, that's just kind of the theme right now with COVID. Everybody's staying inside. People are getting a bit more agitated. As far as thefts, there's been a little bit more in your neighborhood compared to your neighboring neighborhood of Alta Vista, and that's more just petty package thefts. And I think, in all honesty, I think it's more because you all have a little bit more homeless that's straight through your area than they do. And that's just, something that we can all do, is as far as, I can tell the other shifts to patrol more. I do the patrol by forms for the different areas, and just the neighbors calling in more. I said this to Alta Vista as well, but if anybody knows a way that y'all can get me the neighbor next door so that I can see a little bit more of what's going on. We've tried that in the past in King William, but it kind of backfired, and one of the guys kind of got in trouble. But I think it's a good tool to have, an officer that has access to next door, so we could see what y'all put out there, pictures and comments and anything.
Are you talking about the next door,
app.
internet thing, or are you talking about getting into next door?
Getting into the next door app. I kind of have it for my neighborhood, yeah. But since I'm not a resident, we don't have access to it. So by the time it reaches me through email or phone call, this event has happened, at 1 p.m. It's now 9 p.m. I don't get it till the next morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way we are able to change that. We have a really active Facebook group. There's a lot more traffic on there than on Nextdoor. So if you felt comfortable having an officer join that Facebook group, we'd be perfectly willing to have y'all do that.
We do have one. We do have a central safe Facebook.
Right, but this would be
for Beacon Hill
separate.
neighborhood.
We have a closed group, so somebody would have to join it. So
okay, I can see if she can attempt to join that for
Okay,
I would imagine
I'll send you a
anything you
link.
get on Nextdoor, you'd also get on Facebook.
Okay,
it's pretty active.
That sounds good.
Okay.
So I have a question. I think that Beacon Hill is a relatively data-informed community, and as such, it would be beneficial for us to have the data that relates to crime with Beacon Hill, whether that be UCR data or just straight up CFS from y'all's TriTech CAD, anything that we can get that would allow us to see crime information specific to our neighborhood would be appreciated for a period, let's just say last quarter.
Okay, yes. We can definitely do that. Everybody also does have access to LexisNexis. I don't know if we spoke about that before.
Yeah, we use LexisNexis, and when it works, it's decent. But I know you guys have better raw data that can be filtered out to our zip code. I think that would be more beneficial for the group.
Okay, I can definitely do that and get with one of the other officers who's a little bit more savvy with that.
That'd be great. Some sort of trend line, because clearly you have the data, because you're telling us that the trend hasn't changed. So if we can see that data,
and I just kind of. Yeah, and I kind of go off LexisNexis as well. And then I look for problem areas, houses, block numbers. I kind of do a general search. So I do, a couple months, I hit, let's say 1,000 block of West Summit, and I see all the calls that come out. And I kind of group that with LexisNexis and seeing, okay, was this just a fireworks call, or was it actual gunshots or disturbance? And I kind of go from there.
Okay.
And just so I can understand, so the data that you're requesting, Jordan, is this something that, because we haven't been able to speak with SAFE for some time, is this something we're wanting to see at the next couple of meetings to see how it's changing, or do we want like a quarterly report? What sounds better to you?
Well, it's not just me, right? It's the community. So I'm not going to speak on behalf of the community, but personally, I would love to see some sort of quarterly report with trend lines that shows where we sit based off of the UCR information that's sent to DPS. That would be a great start. But if we can drill down further in that data, that would be just immensely beneficial. Let's start with this. If we can just get 6 months worth of crime by category via the UCR, that would be huge.
What he said.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely, I can get that.
That's what we want.
I mean, I can definitely get that for y'all. and provide it. I could send it even before the next meeting, and just so the board can look over it, or whoever wants to check it out.
That would be really helpful for us to kind of, as community, deal with some crime issues. Either driving more in different parts of the neighborhood that need more eyes on the street. So thank you. Well, thank you, Officer Sanchez, for attending, and congratulations on the birth of your child.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's see, we can go pretty quickly from here. Treasurer's report. Diana, do you have anything to tell us?
No, we had a good month as far as we had $600 worth of ad revenue, so that was good. So our ending balance as of the end of January was $7,995.94.
Wow, look at us. Thank you. Okay, so how about animal care? Kim, you have anything to add to tonight's?
Yeah, I'll be quick. So we did have, that I know of, and there may be more, but an attack that happened. A loose dog attacked a woman who was walking her dog. Her dog would have been injured, except it was wearing a cone. So the dog that tried to bite her dog took a chunk out of the cone instead of the chunk out of the dog. So if anything like this happens to you, the process is that you need to file something called an aggressive dangerous dog affidavit. And that is the first step to ACS being able to open investigation. Especially, I don't know if it applies if it's a loose random dog, but if you know where the dog lives, that is the first step. They'll go visit the people. If it's seen to be a chronic issue, the steps will be taken. Some people are unwilling to do that because they are afraid that something's going to happen to the dog. Because I think a lot of us know it's not a bad dog necessarily. It's a bad situation. In general, the dog is not going to be seized. The people are not necessarily going to be fined, but you just really need to do it. And it is a form you can download from ACS's website, and it does need to be notarized, but we have a lot of notaries in the neighborhood that will help you out for free. So if anything like that happens, reach out to me if you don't know the process, and I can help walk you through it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Kim. So Arts and Beautification has a brand new chairperson who's doing an amazing job, and she just started. So Brianna Woodhouse, introduce yourself and tell us about all the great things you're doing.
Oh gosh, I wasn't expecting to be put on the spot, but hi y'all, I'm Brianna. Been in the neighborhood for about 3 years, and I've been eyeing this position for a good year and a half. And finally, thanks to COVID, I have a little bit more time on my hands. So I just thought I'm gonna tackle it now. But yeah, I have tons of things in store. House of the Month was the first thing that we did and featured this month. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I thought what a great way to make the community feel a little bit smaller and kind of get to know not only a cute house, a cute bungalow in the neighborhood, but also the residents that previously lived there and currently live there now. I have a lot of aspirations for this role to kind of get to know the community a little bit more, get us a little bit more active. And one of them is the AT&T boxes. That's my next thing. I've got 8 volunteers to help me paint and restore those. I think, I don't know off the top of my head who it was, but somebody mentioned that they had the former officer or superintendent or somebody who was in charge of those boxes for AT&T. So hopefully if I can get in contact with them, they can help take some of them that are in pretty bad shape anyway. If we were just to paint those, they would just be slapping, I don't know, lipstick on a pig type of thing. But I don't know. I think that's my next big push. Yeah, but I do want to learn about how to make homes historic. And I think that'd be a really great thing for the neighborhood and for everyone. I mean, my house is 105 years old. I would love to deem it historic because I know the church across the street from me wanted to buy it when I was trying to buy it to demo it for more parking. So if I could save my house, I'm not planning on going anywhere, but if I end up going somewhere, I want to make sure my house is still there. So.
Well, thank you, Brianna, and welcome. Benevolence Committee, Miss Eller, do you have anything to add tonight? If she does, we'll come back. Community garden. Is anybody-
Mrs. Eller, your mic is muted. I don't know if she realizes that.
Your mic is muted, Lucy.
Let's see.
Unmute yourself.
If you look in the bottom left of Zoom, you should see a little microphone. It might have a red slash through it. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'll make it short and sweet for everybody. This has to do with the community. We have a mission statement and the benevolent fund, and I would appreciate everybody take a few minutes to go over the report that we give. It's a tremendous blessing to be able to communicate with the children, because this is my purpose of being involved in Beacon Hill. We were able to reach out to a family that was in distress. We were able to provide school supplies and a gift card. So take time, because we need one another. I need you and you need me, and together we can succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Eller. You never fail to inspire. Nobody here from the community garden? Is anyone here from the community garden? I know they've been really busy and they're doing their yearly plan and all kinds of cool things. I guess we'll hear about it next time.
Doesn't look like.
Heart of the neighborhood, Daniel?
A couple things briefly. So knocking around some ideas on possible ways to socialize in a safe manner. I know Susan Breidenbach had talked about a tailgate party. She really liked what we did when we were getting ready for that car parade. And that was actually kind of fun just in itself before the parade. So we might try to have something like that in a parking lot. Thought we might try to revive. We did a neighborhood picnic a couple years ago, which frankly was a little lackluster, but maybe this is the time to try it again. So we might trot that out in a month or so. But the main idea we have going at the moment, you probably have seen this post on the Facebook page, is the idea of a house parade since for Fiesta, since we probably won't have an actual Fiesta again this year, or the parades that go with it. We would, the idea was people would decorate their houses in exciting, flamboyant ways. Sort of your house becomes a float, and then people can drive around and see you, sort of, as Kim mentioned, sort of like they do in Windcrest in the Christmas time with the lights. So with any of that regarding a house parade or different ways to socialize, if anyone has any ideas or thoughts or wants to help out in any way, please contact me. Contact, info's on the newsletter. And I also have updated a Heart of the Neighborhood mailing list. If you would like to be on that email list, please let me know so that you can be part of that conversation too for planning things and organizing things. So
Any movie nights coming up?
We haven't set anything yet, but I'm sure we will once it warms, a little more consistently warms up. I think we did one in March last year. So, we might be able to do one next month. So we'll just have to see what the weather does for us, but we certainly will do more, just a matter of when exactly. Figure it out. Okay.
Okay, Zud, Cosima?
Okay, yeah, just a lot of stuff to keep track of. We have Cynthia Walker's, property she's next to on Summit. We have 1100 West Mulberry, which residents have called in concerned about. We have a new owner, Bill Millers, has bought the property that used to be Roy's Appliance Repair. That little house got demoed there. We have one of our committee members trying to find out what their plans might be for that lot. We have one of our committee members staying in touch with the folks that bought the car wash property. They're going to redevelop that, and I put out a post on Facebook to see if people had any suggestions for what we could see there, and we'll provide those with them. We're hoping that they are truly interested in working with the neighborhood on the development. A lot of time that's talked that you hear a lot up front, and as you go through the process and get through zoning and design, it wanes significantly. But we're working on that. There's several code houses that we're still trying to help people with. 1030 West Agarita. Many of you have probably seen the Facebook post trying to get him out of his code violations until we can get him some true rehab over there. He did apply for the 2 programs the city has, but those are done on lottery, not based on need. And so he didn't get selected this time around. We have the property at 1206 West Agarita that is still in the process. The next phase is for it to go in front of the zoning commission. I know the councilman has been in touch with the owners of the property. Sadell, do you have any more information on that?
Not as of yet. So we did reach out once. They had a set time. Councilman called him and he wasn't able to get through a couple times. So we've now tried to request that meeting one more time, either for tomorrow or Wednesday. And then if that doesn't happen, we're planning on meeting with you all probably Friday or Monday. And I'll probably be sending that out tomorrow, whether or not we speak to him. We would like to speak to him, though, to really get more of an idea of what he plans to do. Knowing that, he's new in town and everything, but we'll definitely have the meeting before it goes to zoning commission.
It looks like he's neglecting it until it has to be demolished. I mean, there's pictures from a year ago and it was a perfectly beautiful home, and now it's just this derelict building.
Okay, Sadell, well, I appreciate that. So I'll just wait until the end of the week and hopefully we'll have some word from you by then. We're always in need of people who are willing to work with the ZED committee. We meet virtually once a month, and typically what we're asking for people like, for example, Cynthia Walker, if she would participate in the ZED committee, then she would have 1042 West Summit, and she tracks it and she interacts with the city and then just reports back to the committee, and we report back to the association. So if anybody feels like they can take on something like that, you don't have to have zoning expertise. You just have to be able to, being a little bit dogged is probably the most important thing. You have to be willing to follow up and follow up and follow up. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Can I ask a question, please? Regarding the car wash property, Cosima, are you referring to the one on Gramercy?
Yes,
Where
the
is
corner
that?
of Gramercy and Blanco.
Okay, so someone
Yes, ma'am.
purchased it. Someone purchased it and they're open to ideas on how to use it?
Yes, I mean, they would like to be able to put something there that the community would support and be in favor of. And, there were some suggestions on the Facebook page, some which would be viable, some which just aren't. They have able to.
You're phasing out, Cosima. Cosima, we can't hear you.
I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so if you have any ideas, Cheryl, let me know.
Okay, thank you.
I had a question.
Okay.
Sorry to keep that going. In November, y'all mentioned that a new owner had purchased a property on Ashby and Grant, the empty lot with, I guess, a couple
Yes.
garages on it. And you had mentioned that they were going to submit plans in December. Did that ever happen?
No, we've been asking them each month if they're ready to present, and they now say they should be ready in March. So we will continue to follow up with them and hope that in March they'll have some plans. They've gone back and forth with the city, trying to work within our NCDs, although they will be asking for some variances probably regarding parking. Our NCD only allows one entry, 1 driveway per residential lot, and they want to have 4, I think. So we'll be looking at that. But they have not come back to us yet, Brianna.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'm going to qualify that and say that they did submit some plans. They didn't submit plans that were conformed with the NCD was the problem. So, so they're not ready to present to the General Assembly because their plans aren't really ready yet. So they've presented, but they don't really pass muster.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cosima. Okay, we have some brief updates. I hope it's very brief because we're way past our 8 o'clock ending time, but we'd like to give a few minutes to Sadell Brooks for Councilman Trevino.
Sure. Yeah, I can definitely help with that this time, Cynthia. So I'm Sadell Brooks. I'm your liaison from Councilman Trevino's office. I don't have any real updates for you tonight, but just know if you have any concerns about things happening on the neighborhood, you want to be updated specifically with zoning cases. That's my job, the zoning and planning. We also have infrastructure specialists, constituent services. So yeah, if you need anything or you've reached out to someone and haven't gotten a response, we're also good to help you follow up. So I'll put my information in the chat, and yeah, if there's any questions, I'll take those.
Thank you, Sadell. Annalisa for State Senator Jose Menendez.
Hi, everyone. This is Annalisa. I hope everybody's doing well. Happy February. Just want to let you know about 2 things. You know that the legislature is meeting. Senator Menendez, because access to the Capitol is so restricted, a few weeks ago started something, it's a weekly recurring Capitol Connections. So it'll be every Thursday, 5:30 p.m. I'll put the link on the chat. It's via Zoom. It's for an hour. You can ask any questions. The Senator will give a brief update in the beginning, and it's open Q&A. And then because we have been receiving many calls from people, especially seniors, but all kinds of folks, frustrated about when am I getting my vaccine? The Senator's having an informational session tomorrow evening, and I'll put that information in the chat. That will also be via Zoom, and you can connect on your phone or your computer. And that will have someone from the White House, somebody from the state, talk about how it's rolling out. If you're having trouble connecting, there'll be somebody like to register for the vaccine. There'll be somebody on hand who has helped many people from different, like in this county and other counties, sign up, and just kind of tips for signing up. This event will not sign you up for a vaccine. I'm sorry, but we can't do that. But this is just so that you know where everything is, and hopefully, and when it's coming to your area. And so it's also open Q&A.
Okay, thank you. And I know that, oh, go ahead.
I have a question, Annalisa. Are you guys doing page programs this year?
That's an excellent question. Let me find out. I don't think so because of the pandemic, but I can ask. You want to shoot me over your email and I can find out?
Will do. Thanks.
Thank you.
And Annalisa in the chat in private put that the Neighborhood Faith Convening is a group of churches and they adopt schools, is collecting canned goods for families in SAISD for Edison and Jefferson areas. And they're timing it to so families can have food during spring break. Annalisa, who do we contact?
You can contact like your middle school, like whatever school you work with. If you're there with Mark Twain or Beacon Hill Elementary, you can contact them directly. The counselor should know.
Okay.
If not, I can, in a different email, send you the.
I know how to follow up on this because we used to participate in this, but now it's just churches, but I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And it looks like that's it for tonight. I'm really pleased about how many people are attending. Thank you.
Do we have anyone?
I'm sorry.
Angela?
Yes, I'm here with the Representative Diego office.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No problem. Yeah, so far we have passed over 30 bills that go on. The session just began. Everything is remote. So I will leave our contact information, how to contact us. And if you have any question regarding to unemployment, Texas driver license or CPS, feel free to get in touch with us. And as well as I'm going to leave the information, Diego's social media platform, so you guys can follow him over there. He's very active and very engaging. So if you have question, you want to get directly in touch with him, you can do that. And as well as I'm going to leave information about the bills that we have passed so far, the link and where you can go to find it, just to keep yourself upgraded about what we're doing. And like I say, if you guys have any question, my contact information is there, as well as Zach and Bethany contact information. And I'm going to post it on the chat.
Thank you. I guess I was looking for Bethany's name, so I thought you were a neighbor. I didn't realize you were. So thank you, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking over this AM meeting for her now.
Okay, perfect. And we'll, if you have your contact, we'll make sure you get the invitation. Terrence sends out the invitations.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. I think we might be adjourned. All our pets are wanting our attention. I see cats in every, I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss when we have in-person meetings and there's no cats and dogs that I can see in the background. Thank you,
We should bring our
everybody.
cats.
And remember, the linear park is a great place to walk dogs, because the dogs, if you do come across a rare stray dog, they're not protecting anything. So you don't get the animosity that you might otherwise. And it's a perfect, 6 blocks is perfect for walking a dog. It's really enjoyable. So I hope I'll see you there when I'm walking my kid's dog there once in a while. We need the dog. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you all.
Good night.